Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Maximilian Moreau. With me is my tech, Philip Wilson, who is not pictured on the screen.
I am still not on the screen.
This is my good friend from Digipin and partner on the Proton Pulse project, Justin Moravetz. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, awesome.
Hi.
He can speak. So anyway, what we're showing here is we're doing kind of a special episode to raise awareness about the Kickstarter for Proton Pulse Rift, which is an Oculus VR. Actually, we have the headset right here. Oculus Rift. Vanna White, you want to do that? Hold that up.
It's falling apart, but
okay. Falling apart. Oh, no. The final version will be great. Don't worry about the hardware falling apart. It's not actually falling apart.
No, it's great.
So what we're going to be doing today is a little bit different. We're not actually going to be doing a tutorial. What we're going to do is we're going to just be working on the Proton Pulse project live. The intent is to just kind of get a couple of bugs and features implemented. I just kind of want to show you guys what it's like actually working on a real project. You'll find that it's probably not very, very different from what we do on Cooking with Unity normally, but we just have a couple features that we're going to try to implement. We may not even be successful. Sometimes things don't go well, and so we'll see how it actually goes on the show. I hope that we'll get something done. Our goal is to get a cool little pixel effect when you get hit, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. First, that being said, do you want to give any background on yourself or what your inspiration was for Proton Pulse? Or
honestly, my background is kind of like yours, where we just met each other at Digipin Institute of Technology up in the Redmond, Washington area. We both had a passion for video games, and fast forward like 10 years, right, since then. And,
yeah.
And then Proton Pulse came around, and the whole inspiration was just to make, it was actually from you. You started out the game from that old Mac game. What was that called?
Shatterball.
Shatterball, yeah. Right. And then you make art for this, and I just kind of blew over the entire project. My apologies.
Apologies. You should see how the project looked before. Actually, you can see a little clip of it in the Kickstarter video.
It was cool.
It was cool. Okay, yeah, it was kind of, it played. It looked like blocks.
I can't make a block game from this from nothing. So.
Yeah, well, you made a block game from very little. So I'm going to tell you right now, you did an amazing job on all that. So without further ado, I'm going to switch to the screen cam, and we're going to kind of look at the project. So, where is that main screen? Main screen, turn on.
It's you.
How are you, gentlemen?
All your base belong to us.
All right, we get signal.
You have no chance to survive. Make your time.
What do you say?
Move Zig for great justice. I'm skipping around now. Okay. All right, so
that's actually the line in the first boss fight for this game is from that whole.
That's right. I forgot. We have you have no chance to survive, right?
Yeah,
that's the line. Yeah, that's a little throwback to that. So what we're going to be adding is so I'm going to show you our little Asana thing. Show that we actually do use this for real projects. So we've got some tasks and some features and stuff, and the one we're going to focus on is the full screen distortion when taking damage. And this is Justin here has noticed that people who play the game have difficulty tell that they've lost a life, and it's actually more difficult to tell in some of the later levels just because there's a lot happening on the screen. And so you've sourced a pixel shader or something that has some sort of a mosaic pixelation effect or something.
It throws back to that old Super Nintendo effect where everything just gets pixelated as it transitions, and I'm really hoping to get a glitch that looks something like that.
All right, so what we actually have right now is a simple pixelizer. Here it is. So let's see what this does. Downgrades a rendered image to make it look like a retro game.
Sweet.
It just adds a component to camera. You can set the amount of pixelation in the inspector. So let's take a look at what this script actually does. Image effects pixelizer.
Come on, mono develop.
Oh yeah, I didn't preload. I didn't pre-warm mono develop here, so taking a moment.
It's like being in a waiting room for. You want an air freshener in your car while we change your oil? How much is that? $20?
So unrendered
maybe
image. Oh wow, this isn't a shader. I was expecting this to be a little bit differently organized. Is this wait, wouldn't this be slow?
And see, this is
Whatever.
This is the interesting thing here, because Max knows what he's doing when it comes to coding and stuff. I just throw shit at him and see what sticks all the time. Can I say that on YouTube?
You can, although let's try and keep it low. I try to not curse as much as possible, just because
My
I don't know
apologies.
what age group are going to be watching the video, and I like people to be able to watch it in the schools. But yeah, don't worry about it. So first look at this. This is actually the first time I even looked at this thing. I'm a little concerned because it looks like it's going on the CPU for the most part. I'm not entirely sure how fast the blend operations are. Maybe they're fine, but yeah. So let's see how this actually works, though. So if we just put this on an object, so let me load up level 1. So what we call it levels, right?
Yeah.
Because we're old school like that. All right.
Yeah.
World 1, level 1. So first, let's see if this thing runs. So one of the fun things about this is we actually have to. I don't have the video on here, but let me actually switch that on. Real quick here. Main plus cam. So if one of the fun things is we don't actually have this set up so that we can use it as we can use a separate controller anymore. This is entirely Oculus Rift driven at this point. So any testing that we do, we have to do with the headset, kind of in a little configuration like this. I can put it on my head, but actually because of the way we're recording this, I can't actually output through the Oculus, so I'd be blind. But yeah, so this is how we're gonna actually test things. I just thought that was kind of funny.
A little Oculus development tip here. First thing you want to do when you're deving is get one of those like hairstyle mannequins or something, so you can put the Oculus on there all the time and just tilt it by its neck, because you're not going to put this thing on and off every time you need to test something. Make sure you get a stand. It really helps a lot.
It's so true. It's so true. Honestly, if I had more time, I'd probably have set it up so that we could do both mouse and Oculus control simultaneously. But I haven't had the time to actually do that kind of thing on the project. And quite frankly, it's not needed. We can just do this, and it's not a big deal. But if that type of stuff is costing you development time, do look into fixing problems like that.
Yes.
So
first thing we want to do is get rid of the on the root. Wait, we have an OBR camera controller already.
Okay.
So excellent.
All right, cool. So these are our cameras. So if we do, so they added a menu for this, didn't we? Or was that, what was that menu? I swear that I saw a menu item in that Simple Pixelizer. Image effects pixelizer. Oh, component menu. So what does that mean? Component.
Bottom. Make sure I didn't.
Image effects pixelizer. Here we go. So if I do this to there and hit play, I'm just curious if we get one of the things pixelized. No, that doesn't look like it yet, but let's see if we have to configure it. Okay, pixelized. So what should does this go up or down?
Let's say up.
Alright, let's try 5. Hit play. Alright, perfect. We can see on the left-hand side we now have the pixelization effect, and on the right-hand side we don't. This is a very clear indication that it's working. And you can see that this is a much lower resolution. Let's actually adjust this in real time real quick and see how. Oh yeah, we can. So it's pixel zoom, so we can just make that really garbled up. So what we're going to be basically doing is when we get hit, we're going to basically increase this and then decrease it back, or maybe even randomly select values so that it looks like it's shaking through, and then come back to the view, which looks like that. So. We're basically going to have to make a script that adjusts this script at runtime, and we may modify this script so it's a little easier for us to do that.
I have a question, by the way.
Sure thing.
Jeremy says, how is the game view split into 3D? Is it just 2D?
It is and it isn't. So we are actually running Pro right now. This is the first time I've shown anything Pro-wise on... Divide by 0, exception, division by 0. I'm not going to think about that for right now.
It's probably my fault.
No, it's don't do that to yourself. It might not be. It might even be the pixelizer. Actually, it probably was the pixelizer because I probably set it to 0.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. So that probably caused the problem. So what were we?
Is it just how's the game view split into 3D, and is it just 2 cameras?
All right. So it is 2 cameras. And the initial split is actually done using the normalized viewport rect, which you can do using Unity free. Now, we're not getting the actual distortion on the Oculus because it doesn't actually do that. Like, normally this actually distorts into kind of a sphere orientation. If you've seen the Kickstarter video, whenever we show the Oculus view, it kind of has these circular views
also,
to it.
can you turn off the game listener?
Game listener.
Yeah, so it doesn't play all the sound through the game.
Thank you. Yeah, let me see what I can do about that. What is the easiest way to fix that? I guess I'll just get rid of the... so we have a...
You can get rid of the music.
We can just get rid of the
Audio listener.
Where's the audio listener?
There it is.
Where is it?
Up. Towards... now it's down. Middle.
There it is.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
I can never find something. When
So hopefully that will get rid of the...
Hopefully that'll fix
Here,
it.
I'm going to just really double check on the... Gonna be quiet here for a second and just double check on the... Okay, yeah, it looks like that worked.
Okay, cool.
So...
That was tense.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two cameras, game view split into 3D.
So, I mean, let me give you some background on how Oculus handles this. At the root of the cameras is an OVR camera controller, and its sole purpose is to place two cameras from what would be the base of the neck to where the eyes are. And if the cameras are not there, it will generate them for you. All of the rotation is done from that pivot point, from its parent, to emulate what it's like to move your head from the base of your neck. So both cameras are side by side, and the Oculus Rift applies a shader, a full screen render to texture, which Unity Pro needs to distort the image to compensate for the optics that are in the Oculus, giving you a nice clear 3D view. Otherwise, it would just look really distorted and silly.
Okay, so that actually leads us right into the subsequent question. Is Noah asked if there's an Oculus plugin for Unity? Is that what it's working on?
There absolutely is. It's available for download on the Oculus website. You have to sign up for a developer account to get the download, I think. But I think the sign up is free, and I don't think it requires a serial number or anything. Do they require anything like that?
No, you just sign up for their forum, and you get a download link. It's just a Unity package. You drag, drop it in there, and there are two packages. One will give you instant head tracking support. So when you start your game, you just replace your camera with the OVR camera controller, and you can look left, right, wherever. The other one is a player controller, and what that does is give you WASD movement and control using controller, keyboard, mouse, and head tracking. So anybody who just wants to dig right into VR certainly can.
That's cool.
So yeah, actually, to reiterate, Justin didn't need my help integrating it at all, and I'm not saying that he is a talented individual, and he always says that he's not a coder, but he actually is. The things I've seen him actually pull up, he's like, I don't know how to code, and then he just codes stuff up. So, but the thing is, he said it was literally a drag and drop affair, and which is awesome.
When you open the package, you get this, and all you have to do is you go down to prefabs, and you drag one of these guys in, and you're good to go. I mean, they set up everything.
That's super awesome.
That is really cool.
My phone's blowing up for some reason. All right. Why is Eric knows that I have my show today? What the heck?
I don't know.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
I didn't answer him. I just heard Gunstar Heroes music, and that means someone's calling. But so here we have the pixelation effect. So let's actually get started on making this work. So what we need to adjust in the Simple Pixelizer is the pixelize amount. And let's start with the most simple way of doing this. So let's get this attached to both the cameras. And let's create a new script. I'm going to put it in the game-specific folder. And we're going to call this pixelize on hit. On lose life. I don't know.
We could just do it on spawn, attach it to the particle that spawns with it, or...
Okay, that'll work. So we'll just do it. So it'll just be pixelize for duration. That's what we'll call it.
That sounds good.
And what we're going to do with this is... They didn't open it. What we're going to do with this, all right, is we're going to have this reference because we're going to need to adjust multiple ones of these, and because we're just going to do this as a quick and dirty method, I'm going to have a public simple pixelizer array called pixelizers. And we're going to, so that's what we're going to actually fill in with, oh wait, we can't do it that way because we have to populate this at runtime. We're going to see if this works first, and then we'll probably work on the singleton version of this later.
Sounds like a good
or tag
plan.
version. No, let's do it by tag. Let's just do it by tag right now. So
I like by tag.
all right, so do we have a tag for the camera left and camera right? Main camera. Is there anything else tagged main camera? Untagged. I think these are the only ones tagged main camera, right?
Now that would be beautiful because even when it's 2D,
all right.
that's main camera.
Well, we'll just grab everything that's main camera, and we'll also check to make sure that it has the component. If it doesn't have the component, we won't throw errors or anything. So we'll make it work right. So instead of a array, we're going to do this as a string tag. Let's call it pixelizer tag. And we're going to do a public float duration and public float max amount. And yeah, let's start with that. So at the start, we're just going to kick this thing off immediately.
Oh, so there's another question, actually.
Okay.
Is there a reason that the audio listener is on the right camera? Would it add extra volume or echo if it was on both?
When you have more than one audio listener, Unity complains.
Yeah.
It throws out a lot of warnings, and generally speaking, it's they're both so close to each other that it's not perceivably any different.
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate that it doesn't really matter. If you are concerned about a perceivable audio difference, the proper place to place it is probably on the OVR camera controller parent itself rather than on the camera left and camera right. There's no requirement for audio listeners to be on a camera as far as I know.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's a good point.
This is something that was done by default from Oculus's prefab. So if you want
Okay.
to locate the audio listener, that would certainly be all right.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect the scripts at this point. So I'm going to do a private simple pixelizer array called pixelizers. And we're going to immediately on the start populate that array by doing a for each game object in game object.find game objects with tag pixelizer tag. I'm going to actually default this to main cam just so that we don't have to deal with that later. That's what it's actually called, right? No space. All right, and so for each of those, we are going to I actually want this to be mutable, so we're going to create a systems.collections.generic, which will allow us to access generic lists, and we're going to make this, instead of an array, we're going to make it a list, simple pixelizer, and then we're going to initialize it as new list, simple pixelizer. And this allows us to actually add to the list at runtime. Arrays you can modify. Well, arrays are kind of immutable. You can modify them, but they're tricky. You have to
Yes.
You have to do a lot of extra stuff. It's kind of a holdover from kind of C++ and C programming.
If you need a mutable array, you should use a list.
Yeah, it's generally the way to go. It gives you a lot more.
All big words to me.
Okay.
It's magic, people.
All right, so we're going to basically grab. So we're just going to do pixelizers.add. So this is the mutability aspect, so we can just add things to this list, and we're going to grab the obj.get component, and the type will be simple pixelizer, and And actually, let's do one more step here to make sure that we don't, and just in case there's something else tagged main camera that doesn't have a simple pixelizer, this will fail because it won't find anything. It'll just add null to the list, which could be problematic. We're going to check to see if this actually exists first. So if object get component simple pixelizer does not equal null, then we do this. And I evidently have something not tabbed right there. There we go. So this is the first step, and then we're going to need to actually change things. So I'm going to start a coroutine. Start coroutine, and we're going to call it pixelize. And we aren't going to need an update for this. We're just going to need the pixelize. And this needs to be an I enumerator for the purposes of being a coroutine. What coroutines do, we've done them a couple times on the show, but basically they allow you to start a routine that happens every frame, and then so it happens kind of alongside the update routine, and you can basically yield out of them, and they will return to wherever they were at the last time that they were called. Which provides a lot of utility, and we're going to go through a little bit of that here. So basically, we're going to need a timer. Let's actually set our duration to a default value so that there's a point to it. So let's do 1.0f to start with, and max amount. Actually, this probably should be an int, because I think simple pixelizer uses an int, right? Yep, int. So int max amount. Let's make this. Let's do 30. That's probably going to be too much, but we'll give it a shot. And what we're going to do is we're not going to. Do you want to try pixelizing in and out, or do you want to actually do kind of a random jiggle?
Well, I would think in and out is probably better, because if it's random differently on each eye, that would cause some problems.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Yeah, it needs to.
It won't. Consistent. So it won't actually be random on each eye, the way we're setting it up. So that won't be a problem if that's a concern. But
mind if I throw my 2 cents?
Yeah, throw your 2 cents.
Like, in Super Mario World?
Yeah, when
like
it does
how it consistently does it? That's what I was thinking myself.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Yoshi's Island when you touch those fuzzies, it just bzz, bzz, and that's basically what I'm going for.
Okay.
It's just
all right.
a very controlled zap.
All right. Well, then we will just do it as a. We'll do it as a. We'll just increase it to the max amount and then decrease it back to 0. So so we're gonna just lerp that. That'll be simple enough. So we're gonna need a float t to be our timer, and I'm gonna just default that to 0.0f. We're going to then do while t is less than duration. And I like to do the last lines first just so I don't forget them. We're going to do t plus equals time dot delta time.
You don't want to forget that part.
And yield return null. So what this will do right now is a whole lot of nothing. If we were to run this as is, all that's going to happen is this coroutine is going to start. The first frame is going to come here, add delta time to t, and then it's going to yield return null. And then it's just going to come right back into this while loop, and then eventually it's going to break out of the while loop, and the coroutine will stop. But it hasn't done anything. So all we're going to do now is actually do something important. So what we need to do is adjust for each pixelizer. We need to adjust this value. So for each simple pixelizer, I'm going to call it pix in, what is it called? Pixelizers. So this gives us our list that we populated earlier. And we're going to set the pix dot pixelize, is that it? What it's called? Yep, pixelize. Pix dot pixelize equals mathf dot lerp, and we're going to do from. So the from value would be 0, the to value would be 30, and actually we're going to do duration divided by 2 here, 2.0f, because this is actually just going down This is just going up into the pixelization, then we're going to go down from the pixelization. So mathf lerp 0.0f, just because we want to make sure that it's not going to have a type error on this. And then we need t. So t in this case is going to be t divided by duration divided by 2.0f.
Now, I have a question in this case.
Sure thing.
If it starts at 0, won't that cause a divide by 0?
It actually won't, because divide by 0 means that the denominator is 0, not the numerator. So this is the top part of it, so this will never cause a divide by 0. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
This should be 1. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was mistaken as to what you were actually complaining about. So yes, that would have caused a divide by 0. So now it won't. And I need one more bracket here. So.
And max amount here is 30, right?
Yeah.
Which is also a public int.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So this actually should be max amount. Thank you. See, you're a better programmer than I am. Whatever.
No, you have to understand.
Whatever.
I've exhausted my knowledge with all of that.
You are too modest, Justin. It does not serve you well. Or maybe it does. I don't know. So now we're just going to duplicate this and kind of do the same thing, but in reverse. So what this assumes is it's going to basically pixelate for the whole duration, and then it's going to take. So it takes the amount of time for the duration, and it goes all the way out and all the way in. So and what this is just to cast it as an int because this returns a float, and this basically it'll round down, which is technically slightly not accurate. It's off by a 0.5 as far as rounding, but who cares?
I don't think
so I actually have a question here as well.
All right.
Jeremy says he understood about every word that you said about coroutines and was reading about them earlier today, but he doesn't understand them exactly. Is there a little way that we can elaborate that? Did we do an episode on coroutines? Because I don't remember. I think we may have done a coroutine episode. We've certainly used them in the show a few times in the past. As far as elaboration, I know a little bit more about them now probably than I did the episode, if we did an episode, which I think we did. That sounds so stupid that I wouldn't know that if we've done an episode like that or not. Yeah, but I don't remember either. I swear we've touched on them, but I don't remember completely.
So basically, what a coroutine is it returns an I enumerator, and what that kind of is kind of a it's a next pointer to the next thing you're going to do kind of thing. And it's hard for me to explain exactly how all this stuff works because I'm not sure exactly how it's done in the behind the scenes. The important things are, in order to start one, you need to use the start coroutine command. It needs to be an I enumerator, and yield return null gets you back. There's also a yield return wait for seconds if you need to actually do a wait, which I haven't used on the show before, but it's a good function. And that's somehow how the I enumerator system works. I enumerator is part of the .NET collections interface type stuff. And so if you want to learn more about that, search for C# I enumerator, and you'll probably get some very cryptic, sciencey information about it. But
the super simple way of explaining coroutines is, of course, you're doing something while something else happens. It is a routine that just happens.
Yeah.
At the same time as all the other routines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a super basic explanation of it, of course, from my end.
I really appreciate it.
Well, T is less than duration, so I may have to actually do something fancy here. So for the second half here, we want T to kind of reset. Okay, we'll just do duration divided by 2 again. That'll work. So we'll reset T at this point, so T equals 0.0f. And this time we're doing from max amount to 1.0f. And that should really be the only change. And this may just work. So this, as I said, this happens during start, so we're going to have to spawn this on an object with... so we can just attach the script to the death
particle.
Thing. Yeah. Yeah, that should work. Let's give that a shot. So, first of all, let's see if we have any errors. There are no audio listeners in the scene. It really seems to be complaining about that.
So it's angry when there's more than one audio listener.
There's just no winning.
And it's angry when
it prints
not
that
enough.
every frame.
It really wants you to know.
That's so dumb.
Can you just have it collapse the
All right.
The errors.
Yeah, I'll have a collapse errors. It's just it still irritates me.
I
so our death effect is on one of the prefabs, probably, right? So we go to.
It might just be in particles.
All right.
So just put in a player.
Fracturing. There we go. This is the one. So particles, PFX.
I think it's player death.
Player death. I'll just search for player death. Send PFX player death, particles, PFX player death. That seems like the right one, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's get rid of that. So now we have it. And we're going to just attach our new script to it. So that is under just scripts. What do we call this? Pixelate on something. Whatever. Add component. Pixel.
We'll do it live.
Yep.
We're always doing it live.
Well, we weren't for a while, but it's good to be live.
It's so good to be live. It is so good to be live. All right, so we have pixelized for duration, max amount 1, pixelized for duration. So, and let's make sure that our 2 cameras are set to 1 to start. So let's just go 1 here, and our other camera is 1 there. It's already set. So if we hit play.
Okay, I'm gonna not.
All right, so just not hit the ball, and hopefully we'll see something happen.
Oh yeah.
It
That's
worked.
pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
It actually worked. First try. Amazing. So you want to speed that up and see how it looks or something? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking 0.224 seconds.
All right, so player death. So we're going to do duration 0.24 seconds.
Yeah.
You're very specific about that.
It's my particle side talking.
Excellent. Justin has a more analog range to... Oh, it didn't actually quite get back to things. That's... Oh, I know why. We can fix that. So that's a bug. Let's fix that real quick. So at this point, we should force the pixelization to be the max pixelizer. So pix.pixel... Oh, wait. I have to create another for each loop here. Whoops. So we're going to do that in the middle here. This is basically our little reset in the middle. And we're going to do the same thing at the end here. Which this just sets it to the final value. We're just going to go equals 1.0, or just 1. And on this one, we're going to set it to max amount. So now we shouldn't have it get stuck like that. So let's give that another shot, make sure that we don't have bugs related to that.
So why'd you choose 0.24? It's just your particle number?
It's just I work with particles primarily on particle generation, and it's a very easy to see time amount even in low frame rate situations. It's like below that is 1.6, and it's basically if you're in a low frame rate situation, you're not gonna see anything below that.
Oh, interesting.
So 0.24 is just a little more than that, depending on what your hardware is. And so that is looking pretty good. The is there any way, just out of curiosity, so it loops itself once, so you get a zap twice?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So what we'll do is we'll add a feature called public int loop number equals 1. We'll just default it to 1 at this point, and then we will create a new while loop in here. While we're going to need to create another variable too. So we're going to do int current loop equals 0 while current loop is less than loop number. We're going to encase all this stuff in there. Did I do this right? I think so. So I'm going to tab all these out so it looks right. And so at the end of all this, we'll do current loop plus plus, and I guess we'll yield return null. No, we probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, we'll just do current loop plus plus. That should be enough.
I learned something very valuable just now.
What did you learn?
You selected everything and hit tab. That is so much quicker than me just manually.
I am
down tab.
so sorry that I did not tell you that sooner. I feel like a bad person.
I'm so sorry that I didn't think of that.
Well,
it seems pretty intuitive.
Well, it does seem pretty intuitive until I use any other program now, and it doesn't work, and it just replaces everything with a single tab.
I can tell you that SQL Server does that. But.
All right, so let's see. Let's actually change it so that first let's make sure that it still works with the default settings, and works on a repeat cases. So it pixeled, and make sure that it works on the second try here. Just make sure.
Yeah, that is very important.
Okay, it looks like it's working. So now let's try 5 loops.
5 loops. That's
now,
intense.
This is I did this kind of wrong.
Well,
can you work with this? It's gonna take the duration times the loop number.
I would figure that would work just fine.
Okay, that's fine for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because normally I would like to do that nicer, where it would actually be the duration and then loop that a number of times, but that's going to be more organization than I want to do on the show at the very least. So
this is the way I would
That's
do
more
it.
consideration than I get for the other tools I use. So
okay, fair enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
That is cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that right, or did I count
I
that?
think I
four.
counted
I thought it was
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4.
Yeah, it's 4.
Well,
Why is it?
I counted 5 that time.
4?
What's up with that? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
4,
go
5.
to your code.
It
real
is 5.
quick.
Okay.
Oh, is
I
it
don't know.
5?
Do this. Here it comes.
This is gonna look really odd.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Ooh.
It got stuck.
We got a problem.
Oh yeah, because it's constantly respawning it.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
Oh, it can die. It can die. That's a bad thing. All right.
Oh, that would be why it was.
The player death's particle emitter. Oh, dang it. So the problem is that this thing can actually.
That's because of this guy.
How
here.
long? How long does this particle go?
Let's find out. The duration is
0.20. Okay, so that would be our problem.
And let's see how many emissions we got during that 0.20.
2,000.
We got a lot. See, this is bad practice, people. This is before I
learned about burst. Actually, I don't think they had burst at the time that you first set this up. So
Eric says hello.
I really need to change that.
Hello, Eric. Which Eric?
Jensen,
nice to meet you.
The lifetime is 1
Thanks for
to
joining
2
us, Eric.
seconds. And for this point in time, it spawns as many as it can, and their lifetime is up to 2 seconds. So at maximum, the particle will stay alive for
2 seconds.
2.2 seconds.
All right, I am not going to fix this then. And I'm just going to let you tweak the values so that they are underneath, and we'll know that as a known issue.
If I had a pixel that lasted for more than a second, I would get angry emails from Oculus users.
Fair enough, fair enough. So we'll put this back to 2.24, or actually...
Put that at 2, and then the duration at 1.6.
2 and the
Or
duration.
loop number at 2.
Loop number
and
at 2,
duration at
yeah.
1.6. Since we are using...
Right.
And so that should look pretty nice.
It should just be kind of like an electric zap.
like bap, bap.
Just real short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might lengthen that up a little bit.
Now, I kind of want to add a random to it just to see what it would look like.
Yeah,
do you mind? Do you mind if I
not?
give that a shot?
No.
I love
All
exploration.
right, cool.
And stuff
So
like this.
let's just do a public bool random equals false, and if it's true, we'll do something a little bit differently. So if not random, then we do it this way. And then on this one, same deal. If not random, and then finally, do I want to change on these? Definitely don't want to change it here. Yeah, we'll just only do this if not random. Alright, and then on these ones we're going to have an else statement that does the random version. So all we're going to do is pix.pixelize equals mathf.rand. Oh yeah. You want this to be the same on both eyes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's set that up here. So int random amount equals random dot range 0 and max amount. So now we could just do random amount and then copy this wholesale. Tab it out. You can do shift tab to tab back too. So that's another thing to know. And what else do we want to do? So we need to make sure that this exists in our other case as well. Oh, and that should be outside of the for each. My apologies. Oh wait, we didn't actually want this here at all. We don't care about this one at all. I lied. That's the one that guarantees that it gets the maximum value, which is not applicable in the random case.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Be random, but go there.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So I'm not doing that. So now we need just the random amount to be generated again. So this will make sure that every pixelizer in this case gets pixelized the same, as opposed to if we were just to put the random.range in here, it would be random on each eye, which might actually really read, but it also might make people throw up. So
yeah, the throwing up is a very real possibility.
yeah. So I evidently have an error. No, I don't. It compiled. All right. So we'll just do. So first of all, let's make sure that it still works the way that we expect it to. If we don't have it checked, so always test both directions. So it looked like it was doing the old methodology. Mm-hmm. Though admittedly, with this short at a time, it's hard to even tell. And now let's do random. Let's see how this looks.
You might want to up the duration or
Yeah,
reduce the
let's update. Yeah, because loops don't really matter in the random case anyway. So 1, and let's just make the duration 0.5 to test. I like the other way better, actually. I think.
Which way?
I think it's being random right now. Hard to tell, really.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult to tell.
I'm going to make it longer. And I'm going to make it higher. Let's make it 100.
And let's change the particle life so it actually...
Oh, yeah, particle life. I forgot about that part. Oh, well. Just want to see if this actually looks random. Okay, that does look random.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I'm going to get angry people.
Yeah, all right. Don't use the random. I just wanted to see what it would look like, so...
Yeah, please keep the feature there, though.
Yeah, I'll keep the feature.
Oh, you should change the duration back to...
Oh, yeah,
what is
the duration was...
0.16?
We want 2 here and 0.16.
Let's go 0.2 on this, because that was a little too short.
All right, let's check it out one more time. All right.
I think that's pretty
And
apparent.
that already should work on every level the way we implemented it. So that's
I know,
nice.
Brilliant, huh?
So yeah. So I mean, like, this is part of the reason that Unity is so fun to work with, is just because you can sometimes just get away with just throwing another script on a thing that is already built into your logic, and it'll just work. And so this is a great happy example about that. So do you have anything else on your hit list? We've got 15 minutes. Do you want to do something else, or do you want to call it early, or
You're the
talk
master of this.
little bit about Proton Pulse Rift in general?
Yeah, we could.
well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool project. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to put us back on camera for a moment while we decide this stuff, just so that people don't have to see a completely not busy screen.
A static screen.
Actually, I'm going to do main plus cam. So at least then if I forget, we'll still have the.
Nice.
I think that's the honest truth. Is just sometimes I forget to turn this stuff back on. So the Kickstarter's going really good. We're already above the funding amount, so that funding is not a problem. Oh, did you want to? Oh, probably don't want to announce that. Yeah, I'm not gonna even say anything more.
Which? Oh, him. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Okay, yeah, but you can't talk about it yet. Okay.
Not until some things are signed, but there's something really cool that I can't wait to talk about.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If anyone has any questions about it, right now would be a good time to throw that out because we have a little bit of a delay. So
yeah. If you have any
ask
questions about the Kickstarter, if you have any questions about our methodology for making games, and if you have any questions for Justin specifically or Phil specifically for that matter,
yeah, you don't need any questions for me.
All right.
Well, you can ask them, but
But he's not going to answer them.
What did you have for lunch?
What did you have for lunch?
Oh, it was really, really lame. Just ramen.
Oh, that is kind of lame.
Yeah, it was kimchi ramen.
Kimchi. So that's awesome.
That's a little bit more
That's
exciting,
better.
But,
Oh yeah, you haven't shown me this level yet. Is this the new block breaking thing that you were talking about, or
apparently not? I guess I need to check that in. That's the magic of SVN.
Oh, actually, let's check in our changes. So I haven't shown. I'm gonna have to have an episode at some point. I want to do more stuff that's kind of meta stuff that's not directly Unity 3D related, but is project related. And one of the things I want to show people is how to use version control. And because I imagine that there's a lot of people. I think that there are more people out there not using it than there should be not using it, which is 0. It should be 0 people not using version control. If you're making any project of any complexity, you should have a version control system because it makes things a lot easier. And if you have a group of more than one person, absolutely positively need one. So what we're using is SVN, and we're using Cornerstone to manage it, which is a little pay app for Mac. If you're on PC, actually you're in luck. Tortoise SVN is by far the best SVN client out there, and it's free, and unfortunately it's only for Windows. So Cornerstone is actually, for once, the kind of the runner-up as far as good tools to work with. What do you got?
So
you're doing jazz hands.
Yeah, jazz hands. We have a question that's: can you control the way the ball bounces in Proton Pulse?
As far as when you hit the ball?
Yeah.
Yes.
There are 2 ways to do that.
There's 2 ways. I only knew of one.
Well, I mean, it depends on the state of your ball.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if you have the proton burst. Okay, so under normal circumstances, the way the control works, and I'm going to just pull this up as an example. Actually, let's not show this level considering this level has changed. I don't want to okay, good. We'll show that level. Actually, let's show how it is now, and then we'll see what's changed. So basically, the way it works is if you hit the left side of the paddle, the ball goes left. If you hit the right side of the paddle, the ball goes right, and same with up and down. And so, like, if you hit a corner, it will reverse. If you hit right in the center, it will go straight forward. It is not really. It's not a physical property that makes a lot of sense, but it makes a whole lot of sense in a breakout game, and actually, it's really easy to get used to the control because of it. There's no concept of English. You don't have to like wedge your head around just to make the ball go a different direction. All you have to do is just choose the part of the paddle that you're going to hit the ball with.
Yeah, there's no spin or anything.
Yeah.
So save your neck.
What's so cool about the Proton Pulse Rift version is that actually, like, you're just pretty much looking at where the ball is. Your paddle is where you're looking.
Yeah, it feels so good on the headset.
Really cool.
Like I can't express how awesome the game actually is without showing it.
Yeah, it helps.
Everyone who ends up playing, like everyone who starts playing it, they're thinking they're going to be sick in like a minute, or like not when they start playing it, but like before they start playing it. They think it's going to cause motion sickness or cause their neck to hurt, and you play it and it just feels natural. It is awesome.
There's also a level that slowly rotates that's pretty awesome for the Rift, I will say. I love the feeling of almost falling over when playing.
That's something that I don't because I don't want to. I see a lot of reviews on Facebook. Those are games. Maybe I should check first.
Do we have dynamic levels in the beta that we sent out?
No, we don't because of that fear.
Okay, yeah, let's.
So there will be
you should probably. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that.
We have the circle tunnel level. It's kind of the same thing, but those oval levels, there are a couple that rotate in there.
Oh,
so
yeah, I remember.
I got to do some testing before I decide.
The circle one is the one I was thinking of in particular.
I love those,
yeah, that one's awesome. Also, Eric asked if your beard has powers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It has so many powers. Doesn't he know?
Yeah,
I thought he saw the powers.
I thought he would know too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He asked the question.
Okay.
So
So this is Cornerstone, and this is accessing our SVN, and we're actually hosting through what is it called? Beanstalk, beanstockapp.com. We really like Beanstalk. You can run your own SVN server for for nothing, and it's easy to set up SVN on your own machines and stuff. But the reason we do external hosting is so that if our houses burn down, we won't lose anything, and B, even though we're paying like what, $15 a month? Yeah, it's like $15 a month, and that's like. It saves me at least 2 hours of SVN maintenance stuff every month, at least, and so penny. It's worth every penny for us. And when I say at least, it's probably closer to 8 hours. I haven't actually done it myself to know how bad it can be. So what I'm doing right here is this is the changed list. This is everything that
listener's still on, by the way.
Oh, is this? Oh yeah, on this level it is.
Yeah.
Oh great, we were talking over that. That probably didn't come out very well. Well,
could be worse.
Yeah, could be worse.
Could have been through the internal microphone.
Yeah. Okay, so that pixelizer thing won't work on every level. You're going to have to find some way to get the initial pixelizer script on the cameras.
Oh, no, the camera is instantiated on every single level.
Okay, so you're going to have to apply it from the first level. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's actually a test level, so we're all good to go.
All right, cool. So sweet. What I'm going to do is we're going to... So this stuff... These 3 files shouldn't have even been checked in the first place, and that's because I set this up a long time ago, so I'm just going to revert those to the last update. Who cares? And these material files, we actually do dynamic material editing at runtime, which unfortunately saved to the material files, so I'm just going to revert all of this stupid material stuff that we don't need.
It's to get that scrolling pulsing effect.
Yeah.
And it's being applied to the material constantly.
Oh no. Did I open more than one thing? Oh, thank goodness. I'm glad that didn't open like 1,000 copies of something. I've done that before. It sucks. Revert to last update. Just discard the changes. And finally, we'll get down to what we're actually working on. So we made a change to level 1. I'm going to submit that so that you have something to work off of. And I'm going to submit pixelized for duration. So these ones have to be added because we haven't had them before. So I'm just going to do add to working copy. And we're going to just submit these 3 files. I'm going to leave the graphics settings. I'm going to let you upgrade the thing to 4.2 if you want to in the future. Unless you want me to do that right now. I can.
Actually, I want to see how that works.
Okay.
Because I tried doing that on my machine.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and do it then. I'm going to just add this to the working copy and...
Also, Jeremy was saying, don't forget to turn your listener back on.
Okay. Oh yeah, do that for level 1. You're going to want to change your listener back on. You'll know immediately because it won't play music. But
again, that's a test level, so we should be good regardless. This is not actually in the main game at all.
Yeah. So what are we doing? P3 PFX player depth. We just care about this level. So. Pixelize, World 1, graphic settings, and player depth. Yes. That's right, we need that as well. So we're going to go ahead and choose submit. So we're going to commit these files. And this is adding pixelize effect on depth. Commit changes. And so what this does is this sends it to the server. And the nice thing about having this stuff is you can actually get a... no, this is not what I was looking for. I guess I can't look at the log while sending the contents here. Oh, and we're doing it while we're streaming live. That's really probably not very smart. So we may be choppy here for a second.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't. Hopefully that was lower priority than our stream, but it may not have been.
Also, I submitted the updated version of that level.
Okay, so we may lose some communication here in a second. Here, I'm going to update the Proton Rift. Update to latest revision. And
the transcripts in the eye, I believe.
Yeah, so we can watch that go through. So hopefully the download won't affect our upload. I don't think it will, but we'll see. And we're going to be wrapping this up here soon. I just want to see if this works. So the nice thing about this is A, when we submit things, we can pull from them and it works. B, we get a history of everything. So like if we go to our log here, this has every single change that we've done and what files were changed in it. And it means that if something goes wrong, and you had something that was working like a week ago, and you had something working a week ago, you can go like, okay, give me what was working a week ago, and then you can kind of sleuth it from there.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest aspects of it is the fact that it's not just the latest; it's the latest and everything you've ever had.
I have lame version control.
Lame
I just
version
use
control.
Time Machine because it's only me whenever I work.
Time Machine will work for that because it does versioning and it's easy enough to roll back and stuff. But if you were doing anything of any more greater complexity,
Yes.
you understand why you'd need.
Oh,
SVN. Yeah, or Perforce actually. Perforce is a really great system too.
I should just use Perforce on my own, to be completely
So
honest.
this seems modified externally. Perfect. Reload. So did that? That
See,
doesn't
now
look
it
right.
says old.
Oh,
It
old.
actually
Oh,
renamed
perfect.
it. That's interesting.
That's cool.
So there's got to be some sort of hash to that I was looking for.
Yeah, it actually it's based on the meta files. That's
I
what those are for. So
we want 46, 346.
346. Unity's magic. Oh, it has a planet or something on there. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna disable the music here for a second. Does this one actually have one in it? I'll disable it from the prefab for right now.
So it's under resources.
It's under resources. Oh, because yeah. Which one?
Resources and root.
And root. All right.
And it's a OVR camera controller. I believe the left camera is the one with the audio listener, or is it right?
It was right, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
there
right
it is.
one.
So we'll just turn that off here.
Now it's gone everywhere.
So hopefully this won't have any audio. So what did you add here? This looks awesome. So you've got a planet thing in the background.
So it looks a little distant here, but when you have the Oculus on, it does the screen distortion, and everything is much more personal. If you see here, there's a couple of satellites around this giant planet. It's
I'm
kind of
going
a
to
rock.
actually zoom in on this real quick. There we go.
Wow, that was neat. And as you're playing, you'll notice that one of these satellites, this is a much further along level, so it's not as easy to finish. But as the planet rotates, there's an object as one of the satellites. And it was there at the very beginning of the level. It's behind it now. We can see it emerging now. And what that is, it's a power-up for the proton to become a metal ball. And if you've played the game at all, you know that metal kind of crushes rock, and it should do some interesting things to the planet.
You don't want to miss this thing.
It's kind of hard to play without having the Oculus
Yeah,
on.
it is very hard to play without the Oculus on, and I apologize for that.
So if we're lucky, we'll just kind of randomly accidentally hit it. And what we can do is, because we have the source here, we can actually just put that object in plain sight of the ball and have it automatically hit.
That's a good point.
And
We may have to do that.
we may have to do that.
Okay, let's go ahead and do
Because
that.
I can't. It's like this is an interesting third-person experience.
All right, so where
Yeah,
does it
it's
default
kinda
to right in the middle, or is it just
I
like
think
right?
you just
Did I actually grab it by accident? Wait, main GUI Rift. I don't want main GUI Rift. Bomb block? No, that's not the one. There we go. All right, so we want this block right here.
yeah just.
I'm just going to pull this out of the spin minute, or just pull this out here,
Sounds great.
and then it should just stay right in
No.
front.
Pull
And
it up front so
pull it
the
up
ball
front,
can't miss
okay.
it. And then it'll spawn and hit it. Assuming,
All right, so
assuming one of those asteroids doesn't knock it out of the way. Nope, here's our metal ball.
all right, so we've hit the thing,
And I've managed to miss it completely, but not this time. The inhabitants of this dead world.
oh yes, not this time either.
Oh, wow.
They're safe yet again.
You suck at your game.
I just hate it. Oh, I'm sorry. Do people live there? Oh, oh, I feel bad.
Chunk that planet.
Oh, no. No, we can't have that.
Oh,
That's
awesome!
pretty cool.
That's really cool. So it actually chunks out the portions. That's really awesome. This is actually the first time I've seen this version of the level. This is you using ultimate fracturing and destruction on this.
Yeah, that's how I got
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this is a sphere using that script.
Yeah,
So.
that's a really good plugin, by the way. Ultimate fracturing and geometry. And destruction. I'm not. Oh, I don't owe that guy anything,
Oh,
but
that
but
was
it's
awesome.
Just good stuff. You should check
Yeah.
it out.
I think that just about does it, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
so I'm gonna say that's a win for this episode. So let me switch us back to just the main.
So main
cam.
screen turn on.
No, just main cam. Just the face, whatever.
Just the face.
Just the face. Not in the face, not in the face. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight for this extra special episode, and thank you for joining us, Justin.
Oh, no,
really
it's
appreciate
a
having you
pleasure.
on the
Absolutely.
camera. So normal spiel, Kickstarter. Go to our Kickstarter. We're going to have a link to it in the description. Go ahead and or just search for Proton Pulse Rift, and you'll probably find the Kickstarter at this point. So check out the Kickstarter. If you have an Oculus Rift, definitely check it out. Throw in just $1 or something so you can get on the beta, because you'll get access to that immediately. We send those out as soon as we can. And buy Proton Pulse on whatever app stores you can find it on. And buy Automation, Phil's game.
It's not Automation anymore. It's
Alone. Robot Alone. God, I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
It's
and
okay.
if you guys, happen to go to Kickstarter from this, send the Kickstarter. You can send a message, and we'd love to hear if you found us through Cooking with Unity. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
incredible.
No, that would be awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if you do that, that really helps us out for tracking purposes, just to find out where people are coming from. And if you need to email me, you can email me at pushypixels@pushypixels.com. And you can tweet me at Drakfire.
And you can follow me at Twitter. That's at Magmalemur. And you can also send me an email if you'd like to. That's philip@protosoftworks.com.
He actually exists. He's
I am. I am an existing person.
We have to
I'm
look
not
up to
just
you
a
right now, too. You're not sitting down.
I am
It's kind of
just
creepy.
a dislocated voice.
So, pushypixels at pushypixels.com will also go to Justin. Justin is in on all that stuff. Oh God, it's a Phil. All right. But if you have do you have any other contact information you want to share, or?
You can contact me. There's an email at protonpulserift.com. If you want to know more about the project, you can certainly go there, and I'd love to hear from you. So, yeah.
All right. Awesome. And that about wraps it up. So thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you greatly for joining us.
And we will catch you guys next week for some more Star Fox.
All right. Catch you on the flip side,
Catch you on the flip side.
so to speak.
Oh, barrel roll, huh?
Yeah.
Barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
I'm not doing that for Oculus.
Anyway, good night, everyone.
Good night.